free after 10,000 years.
Here, your evilness, let me help you.
Dear Lord, that was insanely cramped. What was the point of all that? And why in a dumpster of all things? Wait, Rita? Rita, I'm still inside.
Don't leave! You'll miss my coming out party! That's when I destroy the nearest planet!
Welcome to Monster Menagerie, the YouTube show where we take the lore of the Paladin Archives novels and apply them to other fictions to see how a simple Mason, like myself, might rank and classify monsters from all corners of fiction. My name is Mason Cren, and, as always, Mason is the title, Cren is my name. I am your guide to the Paladin Archives universe, filled with monsters from vampires to vespers, werewolves to wendigos, and merfolk to marionettes. This year, we've been looking into the magical world of witches. From the Wicked Witch herself to Studio Ghibli's Kiki. We've seen quite the range, but I think no witch this year comes close to the unique, shall we say, vibes that today's witch brings. Yes, after 10,000 years, she's finally escaped and's ready to conquer Monster Menagerie. Grab your morphers because today we're looking at Rita Repulsa. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a Saban classic, an instant success that swept the entire world. Adapted from the Japanese Super Sentai series, specifically Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, footage from Japan was repurposed, dubbed, and combined with new footage shot in the States. And with an eye on kids and their parents' disposable income, a whole host of characters was born. But what is a good superhero team if they don't have a good villain? I present to you Rita Repulsa, or as she's known back in Japan, the Witch Bandora. If you thought Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was weird, you should have seen the source material. But we're focusing today on her American interpretation, Rita. Though, honestly, Rita's footage is all from Zyuranger, so it pretty much counts for both. Before we get too deep into the Morphin grid, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our monthly deep dives into media you forgot about characters you never considered facing off against clandestine peacekeepers like the Paladins. Make sure to like the video too if you enjoyed it, and I'd love a comment. It really helps with the algorithm. Well, with that out of the way, let's not waste any more time. Grab your power coins, your fruit smoothie, and get ready to bust out your best hip-hop keto. It's time to take a look at the intergalactic space witch herself, Rita Repulsa.
10,000 years I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!
Once again, I just want to stress that here at Monster Menagerie, we often look at characters that have a lot of appearances in different media. When we started this whole thing off with Dracula, I had to restrict it to only his 1931 Bela Lugosi appearance. Otherwise, the episode would have been 3 hours. Likewise, as crazy as Bandora is and as amazing as the comics look, we're just restricting ourselves to the television series, the American version. Our story starts with Zordon instructing Alpha 5 to find teenagers with attitude. What a 90s show. Why? Because the evil Rita Repulsa has been freed after 10,000 years in a space dumpster? Apparently some astronauts were on the moon, found this container with a pretty ruby on it, and just decided to pry her open. Science! Rita decided to celebrate her new freedom by conquering the Earth. Mwahaha. It's not deep, man. Apparently, she already had a palace set up on the moon, which, like, come on, NASA, get together, man. You aren't beating that fake moon landing allegations if you missed that. Zordon and Alpha 5 brought in our cast of diverse, hip teenagers, hit them in the face with exposition and power coins, and sent them on their way. Then, for several episodes, we pretty much have the same pattern. Rita yells about how mad she is. Finster makes her another monster. They send a few putties down to harass the Rangers out of costume. Then Rita turns the clay figure into a kaiju. Morph, morph, morph. Zord, Zord, Zord. Mega Zord. And our witch goes on to scream at her minions and plot for another day. What can I say? It was an episodic children's show. It didn't change a lot. But in the few instances it did, it was actually quite interesting. Tired of getting her butt handed to her by the Power Rangers, she decided if you can't beat them, steal their idea. Enter Tommy, the Green Ranger. And my favorite as a little kid. With the Dragon Zord, Tommy fought the Rangers on equal foot, and for a while, yeah, Rita was winning. But the power of good, friendship, and a cute pink ranger broke the spell, and Tommy added his power to the rest of the Rangers. Can't win them all, Rita. Or any of them, really. In fact, her losing streak continued when Lord Zed arrived, fed up with Rita's failures. With a little hostile takeover, the Moon Palace was under new management, and Rita got sent back into space in another dumpster. Messed up, Zed. But our witch never lets something like losing all your minions and being ejected into the cold vacuum of space get her down. Soon enough, she crashed back into the moon, walking it off like a boss. She tracked down Finster, and when he suggested he could make a monster army for her, she was like, nah fam, I got a better idea. Make a love potion. Boom! Zed and Rita are now the galaxy's best power couple. Side note, was that Hava Nagila playing at their wedding? Did Lord Zed just drop a horror on us? Did we miss Goldar and some putties lifting the happy couple up on chairs off screen?
Come everyone, time to dance! Yeah, for it, baby! I can't believe this.
Rita was able to slot right in their literal honeymoon ride. Rita herself got to show off her chops by piloting a truly massive Zord, Serpentera. For context here, the classic Megazord we all know and love, technically the Dino Megazord, was 41 meters tall, about the height of Cinderella's castle at Disney World. Serpentera is 500 meters long. That's half a kilometer. That's roughly the size of the Willis Tower, aka the Sears Tower, aka the former tallest building in the world. I think it sits at like number 23 in the world? Something like that. Point is, she flies that beast like it's nothing. Of course, over these first few seasons, we see her get pretty close to destroying the Rangers a few times, but in the end, and a few series later, Zordon is sacrificed because the good in his tube can purify evil.
Only the good energy from my tube can destroy the forces of evil.
And I guess there was some good in Rita and Zed because instead of vaporizing them like it did everyone else, it turned Rita into a flight attendant. Yeah, the show is weird, guys, and keep in mind the American version edited into that. Imagine what they started with. After that, she makes a triumphant return on the side of good as the Mystic Mother, but I'm not getting into that. We're already too deep. So there we go. I tried not to delve into every single nook and cranny, and trust me, I could have with this show. Well, shows, plural. Anyways, let's focus all back on Season 1 Rita. I'm already confused. I need to make something clear right off the bat. Rita Repulsa comes off in the show like a dimwit, only slightly better than her henchmen, but the Power Rangers, all versions of them, are so powerful that the comparison isn't fair. So let me spell this out for you. Paladins don't have mech suits. Rita has a pretty standard evil routine, occasionally spiced up a bit when she wants to remind us that she's an evil witch and can do whatever she damn well pleases. For the most part, the formula is thus. Finster makes putties. Finster makes Monster of the Week. Rangers fight putties. Rangers get pressured by the monster. Rangers morph into Ranger mode. Magic wand, make my monster grow! Let's summon the Zords. Oh my gosh, we can't defeat it separately. Form the Megazord. I'll get you next time, Rangers. Rawr! A quick note, don't be fooled by her reliance on Finster for making monsters. That's completely optional. She can make monsters all by herself. But like, why should she? All that would be dangerous enough for a group like the Paladins, but on top of that, she has even more surprises. Let's break them all down. Monster creation and enlargement. What I would argue is her signature ability, Rita can create a slew of different monsters, either with Finster's Monstermatic or by her own magic. These creatures are varied and diverse, meaning she can create bespoke enemies for any occasion. But best of all, if they aren't getting the job done at normal size, she has a Super Size Me button on standby. She even has a little variety in how she does it, but it all ends up the same. One weird-looking kaiju ready to stomp Rangers. And possibly Paladins. Teleportation. This is always a big one. If you can poof away, you're a threat. She can teleport herself. She can teleport people with her. She can teleport her minions to their target. With even a modicum of strategy, this alone would be dangerous. Add it to everything else on this list, and we have a serious contender for the most dangerous witch of the year. Brainwashing. Just straight up dominating the minds of others is also a specialty of Rita's. Most notably, she did this to Tommy, the Green Ranger, and boy was that an effective method for a while. I don't want to think about what havoc could happen with her getting even one well-placed paladin within the order on her side, even without a power coin. Energy blasts and self-enlargement. Rita doesn't always get her hands dirty, but when she does, it's terrifying. In the two-parter episode, Island of Illusion, Rita sends the Rangers to the titular island, where a lack of self-confidence can literally be deadly. But when the Rangers find their confidence and thwart their original plan, Rita decides to do it herself. She grows to massive size, towering over the island. She lifts the entire thing, then hurls it before firing a single massive blast that obliterates the island, with the Rangers only barely escaping. How in the hell are we supposed to counter that? No, for real, I'm not sure if you can appreciate what she's done here. Let's take a closer look. Math time. First off, she shakes that island and tosses it. Even if we grant that it's in space and therefore quote-unquote weightless, it's still a huge mass of rock. That takes a certain amount of force to overcome its inertia. Calculating the weight of an island is an incredibly inaccurate thing, but let's take a stab at it. If we go with a real-world analog, say Kaho'olawe, the smallest Hawaiian island, we can estimate its ballpark mass somewhere around 50.75 trillion kilograms. Now, it takes 1 Newton of force to move 1 kilogram 1 meter per second. God, I love metric. So, to gently push that island would require a force of, 50.75 trillion times 1. Carry the... 50.75 trillion newtons. Nice. But let's be extra conservative. Let's say it's half the size, right? So that would mean 25 trillion newtons. Let's put that in perspective. You'd need multiple Saturn V rockets to push the island. Saturn V, the largest rocket NASA ever put in space. Oh, when I say multiple, I mean 700. That is what Rita is working with. Oh, right, and she destroys the island with a single blast. Well, to obliterate the island would require a yield of, roughly 68 megatons. For context, Tsar Bomba, the largest nuke ever detonated on Earth, was only 50 megatons. Potential immortality and invulnerability. Didn't think about this one, did you, huh? Well, let me clue you in. First off, she spent 10,000 years in that dumpster. She's quite long-lived. But it's not just about staving off the Grim Reaper from natural collections. No, Zed stuffed her back in that dumpster a second time, and it came crashing down onto the moon. Math time, part 2. In the wedding, part 1, Zed goes into a deep regenerative sleep, and Rita takes the opportunity to nudge her space dumpster back toward the moon. It crashes down, and Rita climbs out of it, complaining about a sore back. That's it. No craters, no flames, just some minor spinal irritation. Looking at the open dumpster, we can tell it's about 2 Ritas wide and 3 Ritas tall. Now, normally Rita stands about 5'9", or 175 centimeters, but in this scene she's been miniaturized. Comparing her to Finster, and then comparing Finster to normal Rita, we can estimate she's about 1 foot 5 inches, or roughly 43.75 centimeters here. Using Mini Rita as a ruler, we can estimate the dumpster's overall dimensions, calculate the volume, and assuming it's made of some kind of concrete or stone, we land on a weight of about 2.5 metric tons. Now, picture that. 2.5 tons of space rock tumbling out of low lunar orbit, slamming into the surface of the moon at about 570 meters per second. That impact would deliver around 4.08 megajoules of force, roughly equivalent to taking a modern tank shell to the face. And Rita, she just brushes herself off and complains about her back. If you're new around here, I'm a Mason with the Paladin Order, specifically one that works here in the Archives, a repository of knowledge on everything that goes bump in the night. My job entails me sitting behind a nice, safe, non-scary desk and researching critters while Paladins go out in the field and get stabbed, bitten, and slimed. When one of them calls me for more information about whatever nasty little no-goodnik they're hunting, it's my job to provide them with a detailed breakdown of their quarry's abilities and weaknesses. In theory, what usually happens is they just want the threat level. A threat level is a ranking from 1 to 6 that details how difficult it would be to put down or subdue a particular creature or threat. Technically, the scale does go to 10, but that's really more hypothetical, room to grow. Anything 7 or above would be pointless to talk about because the Order couldn't actually do anything about them. Rita, like Bayonetta before her, is a threat unlike anything the Order has ever dealt with. We've hunted slippery witches, dangerous foes able to curse and hex us, but this is on another level. The only reason Rita looks like a bumbling fool on the show is because she's fighting a team of rangers with godlike powers. Morphin Grid ain't no joke. Obviously, white vestments are going to be suggested. I don't see heavy vestments being able to tank any blast she can throw our way. I'd like to imagine that, for our sakes, a gun that's been properly equipped and maybe even blessed could hurt her, but she tanked a fall from orbit without really stressing about it. This is clearly beyond parish level and probably beyond stewardship paladin level. Someone this bad would easily be elevated to the patronages, our most elite paladins. Containment from public view would be nearly impossible. It's not like she hid her exploits from Angel Grove. She could easily curse or hypnotize one of our agents to infiltrate the Order, or hell, just rip the stewardship right out of the ground with her bare hands. Like most tricky enemies, this one is going to take some time to ambush. The problem is she lives on the moon and can just teleport wherever she needs to be. Sadly, the Order does not have a rocket. She'd have to be lured to Earth. She's very confident if we could bring her down to Earth and lure her in with something, which isn't easy considering she can weave most of her magic from the freaking moon, we can direct her to a specific area. Then, snipers. Not on her, on the wand. Her wand staff thing is used for at least half of her attacks, probably more. Now, at the end of Rita's run as the Ranger's nemesis, she was finally defeated via purification. According to Zordon himself,
only the good energy from my tube can destroy the forces of evil.
God, I love that quote. A little research tells me that this good energy is apparently referred to as a Z-wave. I'll spare you the details, but the key takeaway here is that Rita can be purified of her evil. In fact, she becomes a good guy later on, assuming the role of the Mystic Mother, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, since we don't have any giant robots, our best chance is to separate her from the wand/staff and then purify her. And brother, do we have a bevy of purification rituals we can try. Centuries of purification, both within and outside the church's arsenal. Laying on of hands like we do with demons, holy water, salts, relics. Man, I've even seen successful uses of smudging, sutra chanting. Try them all at once, because I don't think you're gonna get a second chance. I give Rita Repulsa a paladin threat level of 6. She is at the very edge of what we could theoretically handle. And even then, only under certain circumstances. It would be very easy to lose our few advantages and be completely out of our league. I suppose at that point, the BDA would probably take over and utilize military equipment, but that's literally above my pay grade. Now, let's put a bow on this thing with her witchcraft type. If you're a regular watcher, you know by now that we have 3 basic categories of which we recognize in the order. Hellborn witches get their powers from demons, or for our purposes, any sentient source is fine. A deal is struck, contract signed, and a soul is usually the price. Covenant witches trade tiny pieces of their soul every time they use a book or artifact, casting spells with their very humanity as ammunition. And often, they don't even realize it. Lastly, pure witches draw their powers from nature or the world around them. No middlemen, no deals, and no danger of damnation. They're weaker, but they're safer. Now, where does Rita fall in all this? I don't think she made any deals to acquire her powers, and short of Lord Zed, she doesn't really answer to anyone. I also don't think it's just like a natural attunement to the forces around her. One could argue her powers flow from the morphing grid, especially once she's the Mystic Mother, but I don't know. That feels kind of separate from Rita to me. And as purely Rita, that staff just feels so integral. She literally cries, "Magic wand, make my monster grow," every time. Her blasts, her monster upgrades, everything goes through that wand. Without it, well, hopefully for us, she's a lot less dangerous. I'm going with Covenant Witch. Well, what'd you think of Rita? Did she catch you off guard like she did me? She was definitely stronger than Kiki, right? And yet, somehow, just as warm and nostalgic. But what did you think? Are you a fan of the Ranger's original nemesis? Did you learn anything today? When's the last time you even thought about Rita Repulsa? Or was she, gulp, before your time? Gods, I'm old. Point is, as a kid, I just thought of her as a bumbling moron, but when you dig into it, she's dangerous. Quite possibly our most dangerous witch this year, and we've had Bayonetta. By the way, did anyone else notice that when we had Bayonetta this year, we established a pattern of Dommy Mommies in Monster Menagerie? We had Lady Domitresque for our vampires back in Season 1, and Morrigan for our demons back in Season 2. Gosh, I wonder who it'll be next year if the pattern continues. Speaking of next, who is next? Now that, my dear viewers, is up to you. Drop us a comment and let us know which witch is next. And while you're there, give us a like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm. Well, I've got to run. Maddie says we got to get things ready for the full archive decon, and that means the last one to sign up has to scrub the flesh-covered tomes, the biting ones. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled. You never know what's hiding out there. Crippling anxiety.